Stop saving and recording child porn of me and my cats. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was ouch. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was stop it. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous sound effect. Because of your previous sound effect, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was help me. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was bite me. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You are prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was ouch. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was same to you. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was tra-la-la. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was wake up. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was that's all for today. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was cheers, cheese, or chi. Because of your previous statements, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was ow. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous sound effect. Because of your previous sound effect, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. Where does millions of dollars go? A public defender to be put back into local economy and resources as efficiently and effectively as possible, including my mom. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was your mama. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. questions or comments, sound effects, sign language, 5D home repairs, medical, and security. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was unbelievable. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was eject the tape. Because of your previous statement, you've earned a death penalty and you owe $10 million. And it's not like a scary movie or anything. It's what the new normal was decades ago. VCRs with ongoing CP and retro editing processes and developments, right? Be prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was, you know what I mean. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was busted. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous sound effect. Because of the previous sound effect, you have earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. Oh. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was crap. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was seriously. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was don't challenge me. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was fight us. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. And it does not go to the California District Attorney, although some of it that is used in the public defenders might be used to compensate particular attorneys, but not all attorneys. You may not continue to represent Sean Combs in court. If you do, you will get at least 25 years in a maximum security prison in New York. And you will be set for life in prison. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was fight it. Because of your previous statement, you've earned life in custody, the death penalty, and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was, okay, because of your previous statement, you've earned life in custody, the death penalty, and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was, be well, because of your previous statement, you've earned life in custody, the death penalty, and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was cripes, criminy, or Christ. Because of these three previous statements, you've earned 3 death penalties and you owe $3 million. This is a short film, not to be released until Sunday. It's a legal upload. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was murder. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was sorry. Because of your previous statement, you've earned life in prison, the death penalty, and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous sound effect. Because of your previous sound effect, you've earned life in custody, death penalty, and you owe $10 million. Stop saving and recording child porn of me and my cats. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was fuck you, and because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was pizza pie. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was I see. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was good night. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. Failure to pay or incapability to pay will result in incarceration that might be potentially 10 to 15 years. So you've earned the death penalty, life in custody, but you're required to stay alive for at least a decade. It's not World War II. It's not Vietnam. Afghanistan. It will take about 20 years. A few years ago, it is the end of the Nazi Holocaust. Last year. So now what? Well, there's about 75 years left in this particular century. Some of you won't play ball ever again. You never did, you never will, you never have, you won't, you will not play ball. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement, which was yes, miss, yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. Because of these previous statements, you've earned 3 death penalties and you owe $3 million. It is classified who they were, and it is not to be brought back up until at least the 2050s. The best way to describe them, the only true depiction of them in certain patternings and coexistences, and also in the ways in which that they are predatory and focused mostly on genocide, but also particular counts of homicide, as if the average criminal is artificially intelligent, but they're still there in the jewelry store, and it is required to be at least a second-degree homicide, otherwise they don't get to stay in jail for a couple of months. And smoke actual dope, because that's the only place you're gonna get actual dope is in prison and jail. It's the fourth kind, but there are the ones who are benevolent. There are the ones that are the same, but they are the ones that are trying to stop them. It's classified how they are not human. They're not always birds. They're not always totems. They are never only and always human, but sometimes temporarily. They're mostly light and frequency. It is classified how the best way to describe them, who are they? Al-Qaeda. Just the fourth kind. It's a scary movie. It's a spooky, scary movie. It's considered like it's not found footage, but it's a documentary style horror. It's not a found footage film, it's a documentary style horror, where anywhere from 75% to like 90%, 95% of the story is mostly maybe non-fictional, although perhaps. It's classified the fifth kind not until the 2030s. They have already lost, but they want to stay, and they are prohibited from doing so. It's classified how they were always mostly Al-Qaeda, but a decent percentage of them do not know this, nor do they remember it, nor have they been dissociatively identified with it either. It's classified. I promised Jairus and Nicholas that at least a few songs would remain as the moniker Elora Jane. It's classified. Not until the 2050s. It is 2026. It is the late 2020s now. There's no such thing as immortality, but there is eternity. It's classified 7 years. 7 years. This is year 6 out of 7, starting in 2020. More than halfway there. More than halfway there. It's not even that there's like 1/3, 2/3, it's done, and it's classified. How it wouldn't have resolved in the 90s, it wouldn't have resolved in the 80s, it would not have resolved. It's resolving itself, yes. It's safe to say that it is finally resolving itself. No, they're finally resolving themselves, and it is finally resolving itself. deal specifically of snakes, and some of them, this is no dice. What this means is it is a no green light. It's classified. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was say cheese and die. Because of your previous statement, you were the death penalty and you owe $10 million. So anyway, you'll have at least $10 trillion because you do. And if you don't, why are you even still around? Why should you even care? It's classified. Elizabeth Lenore is the first and primary IMDb credit. It's classified. It's production. Writing. Assistant story developers. It's like a few of us. Story developed by, no story by, blah blah blah. It's classified. Nope. Script supervision. Production designers. There's like first assistant, second assistant, yeah. First assistant director, second assistant director, sure. This is not the Illuminati sacrifice, but this is, I guess, the blessing of three is Elizabeth Lenore, who I would potentially be if I were nominated for Best Director at any point. It will never happen. I will never be nominated on TV, film, or musicals or Broadway for director. But a lot of you will, and you should. It is the same with a screenplay by. I will never, as Elizabeth Lenore, since at least the year 2000-ish, be nominated for script or screenplay in any place. And the third is orchestration or soundtrack or music, original score composed by this. I will never be nominated for those three categories as an individual, as the only one who is up for consideration, amongst others who are also up for consideration no matter where it is. Special effects, though, there's like, I don't know, half a dozen of us. No, you guys speak up and go for it. No. I'm just saying, no, please say something. You're no, I'm at home. I saw you on TV. I mailed it in. Yeah, I got him. Good job. What? It is classified. And there will one day be acting considerations, but not until the 2040s. It's classified. And anything that is made before the 2040s, it isn't the end of the world if every single Pixar movie or Disney animated innovation or recreation. It is not the end of the world if it's like MGM or Nickelodeon or something, right? It wasn't even nominated for an Academy Award. That's kind of the point sometimes. But it's still kind of like its own classic feeling or its own, spot on the shelf. It's classified. associate producers. There we are. Yeah, there they are, right? Yeah. Executive producers, there we are. Wow. And that's where they have $10 million every time you have said time, right? You're prohibited from remembering or repeating a previous statement starting a few years ago. This is mostly tomorrow, but not for much longer. Because of your previous statement, which was time, you've earned the death penalty, you owe $10 million, and you cannot use this on my mom. You cannot require my mom to sit, hooked up to different types of electronics or something and use this on her, including via McCamey Manor, especially McCamey Manor. It's classified. There were so many things that did not happen because of McCamey Manor that would have never happened because of McCamey Manor. It's more of a rescue mission. You guys still stuck at McCamey Manor. It has to close out. You have to close up shop. You have to close up shop for at least a decade. You have to close up shop for at least a decade. This includes post-production. You have to close up shop for at least a decade. 100% of individuals, I have not legally participated, nor will I, nor would I. No. Same with the Illuminati. No. 75% of all McCamey Manor actors and guests, participants, they all deserve at least 75 years in prison. 75 years in prison starts with the next 75 hours, next 75 days. You take the number of years that they're supposed to be, at least it isn't life in prison. At least it isn't the death penalty. It is 75 years. Take those years, and for the next 75 days, most of them do not go past the amount of days. If the years are transmuted to days, they've killed themselves successfully, or they mostly have done, they're required to stay alive for at least the same amount of days as it would be in years. So they are sentenced to 50 years at least. And, concerning life in prison, 1 week at a time. And for a lot of them, it's about making sure that there's another court TV appearance and that, the people were there, the cameras were, what do you need to make any signs? Why aren't you sitting outside the courthouse? Why aren't you sitting outside the courthouse or the jail? Like, why weren't you there, Hello? Hello? Wow. Oh my gosh, we will survive. I believe. God bless you. God bless you for being military, police, and hospital. You guys deserve at least 5 to 10 years of rest and recuperation because it was the flu. One of the methods is remembering that it had a name, the virus. So the virus is HIV, the infection is AIDS, but the virus, the pandemic, it was called COVID-19. This virus is what's known as the super flu virus. One of the ways in which to make sure that there is panic, but hopefully not as much. It's about 10 years. The number that is globally affiliated and associated with this strain, with what this strain of flu is referred to as, which is COVID-19, which is different, a little different than what the flu is. This is what helps minimize any stress or worry. It's supposed to be around for at least 25 years. Some people say that if it is the super flu, well, that's it. They're 60 years of age. They know that this is it. They're going to post up until they're 85. It'll mostly be the same. No, not exactly, although kind of, but not really. The number that is next to the virus is the year in which that it was noticeable and different than what the flu is, okay? It is the super flu. It is the super flu. The super flu, most of the population requires at least one treatment of vaccine. You look at the COVID-19, again, keeping it as COVID-19 and remembering that in the pharmaceuticals department, there are differences. It is the super flu, but it cannot be labeled on the, a all-purpose cleaning sprays for a time. Yeah, you'll notice this. These are from the 2020s. How can you tell? Because it says COVID-19. It will not say HIV, but it eventually says COVID-19. And that's because it was 2019 when it came out. All right, so for 10 years, for about 10 years, and this was part of the advisory, or the advisories, concerning the pandemic, and that was since like the 80s, the 90s. Once it is the pandemic, because of the super flu. What was the year? 2019. Okay, they say 20 years is what some of them say. At least 20 years of potential, maybe survival or not. At least 10 years of do what you can to stay indoors and find safety indoors. Not just about because you have to get better because of the flu. It's about you have to stay inside. Make sure that there is shelter inside. Make sure that there is a safe space inside somewhere, even if it's like a tiny home or a camper. Once they are here, it's best not to be out in the middle of nowhere, but to remain as residential as possible. A substantial amount of them will be underground and also on the roof. It's classified the North Pole, but like they are prohibited for all eternity, and they will absolutely remain with Lord Satan. It is classified. Keep it PG. The next phase is keep it G-rated, and they can't, and they don't want it. It's classified. It is classified. It's classified. Stop teasing me and my cats. It is classified. It is deep state classified. Mars attacked. Exclamation point. And in parentheses, and then Mars attacked, in parentheses, and so did Venus. It's classified. What do you mean Mars attacked? Well, this is what happened, because you were inside. What do you mean you didn't see? You weren't, what? Oh my gosh, it's happening since senior year of high school. Whatever year it was, you were on the same number level, whatever is classified, it is classified. Oh my goodness, some of them are literally what some refer to as tribe elders by the time they are 7. And they maintain this for like 70 years, and there isn't really much difference. It is classified since senior year of high school. What year is it? 2019. Okay. So for about 10 years, it's something called the super flu. You ever had the flu? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It happened once. Sometimes people have certain allergies or sensitivities. Eventually, there is a single one-time COVID-19 vaccine where you don't have to get the different stages. It's classified. Some people get a flu shot every year. Some people don't. For some, too much of the flu shot is what might contribute to illegal medical genocide. It's mostly medical genocide, and that's a tricky subject. That's a trickier subject. I know it was the military, or it was the government. It's illegal medical genocide. For some of you, it has been about helping people rest in peace. It was the flu. All right, there was an outbreak. What was this outbreak? Was the flu. A lot of individuals passed. By about 2020, there have been potentially hundreds of thousands of casualties. Including dogs, cats, and horses. Once it is this called COVID-19, there is maybe 19 hours, 19 minutes, and these are the number things, right? It's classified. I believe in synchronicity. I also believe in the end of certain illegal, and people try to make legal encryptions. No. That's because it is the end of the Nazi Holocaust. It's classified. It is deep state classified. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was unfried. Because of your previous statement, you've earned the death penalty and you owe $10 million. The virus, there is one virus that will be eradicated. COVID-19 will always exist. This is where it's one of the final things that takes place. Is some people believe once it is the salvation, because Jesus, okay? You're 6 out of 7. I agree. I believe it's classified. I always have. I always will. It's 7 years for me, and my baby kitties is classified. COVID-19 will always exist, and it will always be called COVID-19 instead of super flu. So there's like the flu vaccine, right? And then that becomes something that is sort of remembered as super flu, but it's called COVID-19. But the virus that goes away forever, you can't eliminate or destroy a virus. Once a virus exists, it cannot effectively ever be destroyed. This is incorrect. HIV is the virus that is terminated for all time, for all eternity. HIV is eliminated. It is the last virus. COVID-19 is the last. And then it's like 100 years, 150, 200 years of essentially the same. But there is, it's not the same, can't be the same. It's classified. It isn't the same at all. There's no such thing as immortality. It's classified. Once in a blue moon, of course. I believe in eternals, those who are eternal in certain ways, and others who are maybe immortalized, but they were not necessarily immortal. There has been progress when it comes to making sure that the virus, which was HIV. Okay, there are many viruses. Like, I have a virus. What was the virus? Is it flu virus or is it COVID-19? Both can result in different types of infections or chronic fatigues, different results. But it is the virus that must be done for, that will be done for, is and was remembered as HIV. It's classified. How do you test to see if this is happening? There are ways. And a lot of it does have to do with ocean water. There cannot be any trace of it in the ocean. Since 2010, there cannot be any trace of it in the ocean. What was the virus? It's HIV, and the infection is AIDS. And it's a blood infection that impacts the brain over time. And I believe that there is survival and also different ways in which to express or to remain private or public about different things. It's classified. What if, like, since the 80s, since the 90s, yeah, you were cured, yeah, then it came back, that's not okay. This is why universal health care eventually, very soon, it's classified. What does that even mean? Well, it starts with the original American modality, which was, Yes, absolutely. You can be here in America, including through travel, and these are the hospitals and things. There's insurance, and it's not blah blah blah. It's classified. The United States of America is supposed to be the primary country on planet Earth that is accommodating of all other potential countries of existence, including fictional, from time to time. It wasn't Mars, but it was Northern California. It wasn't the moon, but it was absolutely somewhere close by to Sedona. They lose for all eternity, which is longer than forever. Some people need the experience of forever to be mostly a fleeting thing, but potentially at least a few seasons. Some of them will continue to discuss things season by season. Most of those people are Scientologists. They are comprised of all world religions, including Scientology, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Wicca, etc. Satanism, paganism. It's classified. It is classified. It is classified. How they, at the end, are all supposed to be and are absolutely Al Qaeda, I believe. This is one of the starting and ending visions that Jesus had, according to this text over here, that scroll over there, and yeah, that was the History Channel, and like episode on, Sci-Fi Network, like ancient aliens, this and that. What does it all mean? Not until the 2050s. They are prohibited from remaining violent, even passively. It is classified how it has never happened before. The end. There is no such thing. Most of the time. Temporarily, yes, but on an eternity level, there is no such thing as the end. They'll say they're rebel Al Qaeda. What about the cover? Well, see, that's the thing. Varies. You chop Michael, for example. Chop Michael, for example. Because if he is a quote-unquote rebel spy and says that he is with Al Qaeda, especially if you put him underneath studio yellow lights. When I mean Universal Studios, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, wait for it, indigo, wow, violet. That's it. Someone will say, right, but then there's like the variegated. These are the 7 primary light bulb colors, and indigo has never really existed. It can and it does. It isn't real. He doesn't really work for anyone. Sure he does. sure he did. So if Jack Michael, look at how double agent and triple agent can be almost a palindrome, but it isn't. Jack Michael as a quote-unquote rebel spy within Al-Qaeda. So if he is a double agent, what does this mean? Like if he was going to his parole officer, whoever his parole officer is. Oh no, he absolutely went to jail and there was a draft. He says, oh, I'm a double agent with Al-Qaeda. Okay. You sure? What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that he either stays with them or he stays with them, is what that means. So he had an American ID, and he's a double agent with Al-Qaeda. What does this mean? He's a UK citizen. He's a double agent with Al-Qaeda. What does this mean? Where is the origin? Jack Michael. Is what some of them believe. They're incorrect. Although he is one of them. He was always one of them. Who were they? Artificial intelligence, artificially incepted, they were mostly automated, they were mostly invisible, and there has never been resolution. There never could have been. There are a lot of others. And the ways in which that they always did coexist, it's classified. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was welcome to the Marines. Because of your previous statement, you've earned a death penalty and you're $10 million. Why? Not all of you, but some of you. For some of them, that will be the case. For some of them, that was the case. There will be very particular things that some are prohibited from saying or speaking or thinking out loud. There will be particular technologies that some will never have access to again, including like construction tools and sound equipment and mixing equipment. I believe in God Almighty. I trust Him when it comes to what the Vision Quest was always supposed to be, what it wasn't going to be, and the ways in which that I am not the only one who intervened when it comes to them. I'm not one of them. I've never been one of them. I dislike the ways in which that most of the time they require entertainment, tripe, or gossip. The other hotter Elizabeth Lansing, this could be a myriad of different results, including, like final semper fidelis, but like, a few years ago I got a social security number, bought a car, right? And I was on like the correct side of current American liberal politics. No, I'm not a Nazi. Correct. Just because you're not a Nazi, you absolutely are not a Nazi, or you hate Hitler, me too. You're prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was, I hate Hitler. This does not apply to me. Because of your previous statement, you've earned a death penalty or $2 million. This will never happen to me, my mom. The dogs, the cats, the horses are exempt. So the fish, the baby chinchilla is classified. The Care Bears is classified. Until next Sunday. They meant it most of the time. They mean it most of the time. They meant it most of the time. And a lot of them are required to stay in somewhat human-like apparatuses for a moment. It's classified. But that moment might have been about 75 years. But it was only 75 days. And it's almost time, yet again. No. You will not know when I'm asleep. You will not know when I'm awake. I'll see you in December. Stop saving and recording child porn of me and my cats. Anything else? I trust in the Lord to keep me and my baby cat safe, and I also believe in the absolution that there are some things that only God would know, and sometimes the shields are different. If I say keep it G-rated, and you say, no, we're keeping it X-rated, this is why you will get at least 25 years in prison. You're prohibited from repeating your previous sound effect. Because of your previous sound effect, you've earned the death penalty and $10 million. We just want to be in like a voice-activated Star Trek-like thing. We are the last generation. This generation started in like 1970. It was 1970 is when the last generation started. It was 1970, and it goes until 2070, and it's all the same generation. It's classified. In Star Wars Galaxies, I'm not a slave trader. Some of you are benevolent slave traders, neutrally benevolent slave traders. Most are not. Bounty hunter. Paper towels. It's classified. It's a holiday bonus. Oh, it's a Christmas bonus because of differences in belief. Absolutely. But not really. I'm apathetically inclined to continue to not really woe and weep about finances, but remain as a survivalist and innovator. COVID-19, the virus. It is classified. We'll declassify it. Alrighty. Some of them will continue to be prohibited from sitting on different tables, executive decisions, blah, blah, blah. A lot of them go to prison for at least 10 years. For at least 10 years, but they have earned at least 50 years, and they're supposed to stay alive for at least half of it, right? So it's like a 65-year-old individual has got 50 years minimum in prison because of all of the illegal PDFs or this or that or blah, blah, blah. Deleted. They might not make it even 50 minutes or 50 hours or 50 days. You're supposed to serve at least half. You're supposed to stay alive for at least half, and it is possible. Especially in jail and prison, where some of the best and most affordable, genuine health care and results takes place. Or so they say. Yeah, maybe. Potentially. What are the pain pills? 200 milligram ibuprofen will never take away my freedoms or keep them or even really know what they are or aren't or never were or never supposed to be, is classified. Or the freedoms of others. No, no, no. 10 years. And however it is in general population is however it is in general population. I understand. I remember seeing certain documentaries. I walked through some of it. I don't know. I have intuitions and memories and other points of reference, but you know what? I'm never going to prison. God bless some of you for going to prison and getting it over with, whatever. It's classified. It is classified. How sometimes it doesn't make sense. You cannot keep me illegally wanted for anything since at least this time in 2020 on. Almost off of probation, but then blah blah blah. No. Jack McLaughlin will not remain 5D, and he was illegally residing underneath my bedroom at certain points. The 20-year assignment is over next year. It's a particular test group. Age 10 to age 30, or age 20 to age 40, or age 30 to age 50, or age 40 to age 60. Or age 60 to age 80, or age 0 to age 20. Age 0 to 20 is the least likely to survive, and so is 40 to 60. When it comes to the superflu, which is COVID-19, and there's a vaccine, but was there HIV? Hope not. There shouldn't be. If there was, there are ways for it to not exist anymore. What, just like magic or something? No. Vigilance, prayer, and universal health care, which is not supposed to be secretly, top secretly anything. It's a global paradigm. Global water, electricity, internet, it's happening. They need to make sure that it doesn't. There will always be communities and cities and locations, but they need to make sure that all of the lights are off on planet Earth at the same time, that there isn't any evidence of human activity or anything. I really, 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 really wish that you had not been underneath the kitchen sink. Even though I really, 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 really wish that. It still took place. And a lot of it is Crayola drawings of different types, including markers, crayons, pencils, etc. It's classified. For Jairus and Nicholas, but it's like 20 years. But there's a possibility. Again, prayers, miracles. There's also paperwork. Don't mind it. But what if, people would prefer to not use computers or tablets or phones, but what if they're required to or supposed to? What if it's the same with books, what if it's not, blah, blah, blah. It is classified. I believe that there are and will be and continue to always, it will always happen, the term survivor, and it was apparently the apocalypse, but the apocalypse started around the year 0 AD, is what some people believe, is that the apocalypse, the end times, has been going on for about 2,030 years. It's been the end times for approximately 2,030 years. It's classified. Some believe that it was a specific date, that the end was at this date or this time. I agree that it has been the apocalypse, the end times. But what if it was over last year? And it lasted 2,025 years. And this could be proven and disputed, and, prosecuted, sued about, blah, 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 in court someday. What if it was done last year? What if it started September 11th? What if it really was the 1st of January, the year 2000? What if it was secretly this date or this date, but not this one? And what if it never ends? And it's actually been post-apocalypse since at least 1990. Some people believe that it was precisely 1990. Some people believe that it started at some point in the 1940s, World War II. And there has to be some type of common agreement and concurrence. And my three responses are, it's either 2033, and it's not going to get any worse, but it's restorative and peaceful. It's either 2033 AD, it was either last year, 2025 AD, or it was 0 AD. And it's been post-apocalypse since 0 AD. I believe in certain ways it has been post-apocalypse since 0 AD. That's my most final answer, but that's the place that most people want to stay, and a lot of it has to do with fashion, technologies, lifestyles, sort of, kind of, no. My most sincere answer is that it has been post-apocalypse since 0 AD. The apocalypse was over. The apocalypse took place during the crucifixion of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And then after that moment, after those few days, it was post-apocalypse. That it was the apocalypse, that the crucifixion and homicide of Jesus was the apocalypse. That's it. They say this is why some of you get the death penalty. And you really were germs. You really were germs. You were germs. You were sentient AI in, your third generation 1-800-Terminix mouse form. Simtown. It's classified. I have family, sort of, kind of. No, friends is the word. And the truth is, family is the term that some people either really require or misunderstand, or they want to get rid of it entirely. For me, my baby cats are my mostest family. It is done. It's been done for a long time. But the post-apocalypse is supposed to last for about 3,000 years. But that hasn't started yet. And it was going to take place December 21st, 2012. It is finally no longer post-apocalypse once it is stated in print that World War III is over. Where was it announced? How was it announced? It was announced several times. World War III has begun, World War III, but it is kept classified. It's part of the Holocaust Museum. Planet Earth has won the war. What does this mean? Well, that's part of your 100-year retirement plan. And some of that might include destination, experiences, or residential lodging, accumulation of another location, or different seasons here and there, Airbnbs, etc. It is classified. It is classified. That Al-Qaeda always had intention to slave traffic Boomer Jumanji. Why? Because they want to sue them. Yeah. Eventually YouTube will be demonetized, but not quite yet. Eventually it will make sense. The human co-produced AI auto-responsive or something. It's like this film Simone. The lady Evan Rachel Wood, it's classified. It's this film Simone, but they're more like ascended individuals. Absolutely. Sure thing. It is classified. It's not really a big deal. It is a form of ascension. It is a type of ascension. Knowing that there might be artificial intelligence, in your quotations, that are near you or connected to you, but it is not necessarily a malevolent thing. It is something that is mostly harmonious, and it is not hostile, even though there is the potential for tranquility, although it's been post-apocalypse for like 2,030 years almost. And, we've gotten this far. I think that it might be 2033. I don't know. And some of you will never have eternal residency in heck or hell. And should it try to break loose, should heck try to break loose, should hell try and break loose, hell break loose, hell break loose. It may have. Heck itself may have indeed broken loose, broken out, broken free. Well, that started in 0 AD. And it was, one of the reasons this is because Satan wasn't guarding the door. Satan has a moment of emotional response and grief because of the crucifixion of Jesus. And it lasted until Sunday. It lasted 3 days, and during those 3 days, there were certain frequencies from heck specifically that were able to escape and get out, and even the devil and Satan are scared of these possibilities. It's classified. It is classified. And a lot of what scares the devil and Satan are the people that become them. It is a true calling. It is a true calling and a skill. A skill and also a gift to be connected to individuals that know that they are the devil, they know that they're God, they know that they're Satan, they know that they're Jesus. They know that Elora Snow is a demon. No, Elora Snow is when I was my own decoy. It's classified, and it's not really that big of a deal anyway. You're prohibited from referring to me as a Lord Jane or needing to talk to me or speaking to me. My name is Elizabeth Lenore Lansing for a time. I'm not a Mrs. Jack Michael. The divorce is final. Sincerely, 623-364-798. Who else? No, it's not going to be a never-ending post-apocalypse, maybe, or apocalyptic. I don't know. It's not going to be never-ending phone tag, hide and seek, go fish, ping pong. But this is the clip off. And because of the ways in which that they had certain requirements, must continue to remain classified. A lot of them only stay in particular human forms for about 7 years, but at different age intervals, and also sometimes in direct physicality with their own replicant or other. It's classified. You are prohibited from remembering or repeating your previous statement, which was, I could have you arrested, we could have you arrested. Because of your previous statement, you've earned death penalty of $2 million. Excuse me, $20 million. It's $10 million. Blah, 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 blah. The public defenders. No. Not for them or others personally, but I believe that there are public defenders that are responsible enough with certain amounts of money when it comes to redistribution and, where and how and why. It has been post-apocalypse in 0 AD. But that apocalypse is supposed to last for at least 1,000,000 years, 2,500 years, 2,000 years. It's supposed to be over. So the end of the apocalypse was January 1st, the year 2000, and then it was heaven. Mostly, let's keep going 1 year at a time. It's one way that some believe. Someone has to call it. That's what they do. They call time. Yeah. Do you remember its phone number? Do you remember the phone number? Do you remember the number? No. It's 623-364-788. No. 760-691-0274. No. None of my technologies will destruct because of myself or yourself. You are prohibited from bartering about me, my baby cats, currency, etc. You may not keep us. I don't keep any of you. It's not the same. You're not my spouse. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, we are. Well, no. It is classified. It is classified. They were real. They were real. And a lot of them absolutely knew additional languages, but also have at least conversational capability and intermediate capabilities as well with American English. For motion detectors, there can't be any sign of life, and there must be acceptance of global death as Al-Qaeda. You do not have to believe. Near death? Yeah, close. It's a near-death experience. This is why Jack McLaughlin will continue to be prosecuted for attempted. So will some of you. It's attempted homicide, kidnapping, electrocution, this not blah 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 of Elizabeth Lenore Lansing. Yeah, these are their Mouseketeer ears, right? Nope. It is classified. How part of the 10-year advisory, once it is something remembered as COVID-19, absolutely, it was 2019, sure, it's about 10 years by about then, to be about 2030, 2029, 2030. That's when it is the future, and now they rest, then they rest. It's not about resting. It is their end. It is their final hours. For a lot of them, it is the final hour. A few years ago. Just like one more? No. No. And however, there is global safety, and that continues to take place, that has never really existed, I believe. On a blue moon, sure, that the apocalypse started. Not ended, but the apocalypse started. 0 AD, sure. The apocalypse actually began 0 AD. It did not end or conclude. The apocalypse was the crucifixion of Jesus. That was what the apocalypse was. There are other ways people use the word apocalypse, and, there are different utilizations, but the historical level, the apocalypse was the crucifixion of Jesus, the miracle and mystery of his reactivation, reincarnation, reinstatement, and then it was post-apocalypse. It lasted 3 days. It was the apocalypse. He was crucified, he was murdered, there were others, and it was the apocalypse. And then it wasn't. It became post-apocalypse on Easter Sunday, which some believe at the time of the calendar, which the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ helped all those centuries ago to formalize, that it was literally the 1st of April. And that the date in which the apocalypse began is supposed to remain somewhat of a mystery because it was March. How many days are in March? Typically 31. It's February that sometimes only has 28. It's classified. Some people believe it was April 20th precisely. Easter Sunday isn't the same day every calendar year. It's classified. Does not have to be precise for this or that. But it is still acknowledged Easter Sunday in different ways. And the holiday traditions and celebrations that are sometimes derived from Christian spirituality and mysticism, not always, but they're connected to it, including Easter and Christmas. That a lot of the crafting traditions and potential ways in which to celebrate were directly co-created because of Jesus, his mother, his family is classified. I believe. I believe that it was the apocalypse, and it's been post-apocalypse since about 0 AD. No, it actually began on this date. And then, 2012, it's over. December 21st, 2012, it's over. It's not post-apocalypse anything. It's just, it's done. You know, it's gone. No. My baby cats and I will continue to rest. Everything's going to be just fine. No. Eventually. It will all go into a box area marked CP. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they intended most of the time. Not all of the time. So a victim-survivor complex. Yeah, you are not the Messiah. You are not the Messiah. There was never at one point in my life, no matter how drunk I was, or out of it I was, this or that, where I said or meant or believed that I am or was or might be the Messiah. I've witnessed this. The ways in which that there was required expression is classified since at least the late 80s. All the ways in which that a lot of us were always in 3 places at once. And it's disorienting more than it's discombobulating. Nothing. Privacy. These are the terms and policies. These are the conditions. These are the safety precautions. It's not family friendly or age appropriate. It's the same rating system globally, and it cannot be TVMA. What is this TV 14? Case by case with Disney Plus. There cannot be R-rated content on Disney Plus. So if I say keep it G-rated, and they say we're going to keep it R-rated. Well, yeah, it is R-rated. It is rated R. It is literally rated R. It was rated R, yeah. And even though there might be individuals that can legally purchase an R-rated ticket, you must be 17 in the United States. Don't even have to be 18. Can't buy tobacco or alcohol, but you can purchase that R-rated movie ticket. And if you live on the military base, it's like, $15 wherever. It's like $5 at this one, and you get to drink and drive and choose to not smoke crack cocaine, but instead it's cigarettes, CBD or something. Sure. Just because it's not R-rated doesn't mean that it's only meant or presented for kids. Kids is an age-neutral expression. I will continue to remain It will never stop hunting you. Yes, it did. But a few more things before we say goodbye, before we finally say goodbye. That's classified since the late 1980s, since maybe 1980. That's classified. That is classified. How some of them are like 100, for example, and their kids are like 50 or 60, potentially closer to like 70, 75. And they have been, because of the Nazi Holocaust and different types of modern and postmodernist, they have been murdering their kids for longer than their kids have been alive. So say their kids are 50 years of age. There's a 100-year-old individual who's facing 100 years in prison, life maybe. And one of their children, one of their kids, is 50 years of age. But the parental has been murdering their kids for about 75 years. And about 25 years before their child was born or created, etc., for about 25 years before their child was born, or their kid was born, the parental had been preparing for the homicide and sacrifice of their child. But they failed. Overall, one of the ways in which that they failed is by making some of us believe that failure is inevitable or the end or the worst. Either you save planet Earth, otherwise, what next? That's one of the best ways that they are explained they're 100 years of age and they know they've got another 50 years of life left in them because of probiotics and vitamins, minerals. There's Whole Foods, there's Sprouts, there's this, but there's online shopping, absolutely, right? And, someone who's sometimes referred to as grandma. Grandma is 100 years of age. Grandma deserves life in custody and also the death penalty. This is not my mom. This hasn't ever been my mom. It's never been any of my grandmothers. It's classified. This is an example of a grandma who stays potentially for all eternity with Satan, or in a place of non-existence, spiritual non-existence. Those are the two options. There is mostly Tibetan Buddhism reincarnation. The two options are you stay with Satan for all eternity, you go forward with Tibetan reincarnation, Buddhism reincarnation, which means that it's the last time you're going to be a self-driving automated vehicle on the freeway. But we want to be this one next year. This is the upgrade, and we still have like all these trillions of dollars. Okay, no. This is why the final point might be Japan. Even though it was maybe China, no, it's classified. Buddhism is, in many places of the Orient, is classified. It's classified. Or is, artificial intelligence, they're atheists. They're atheistic, and it can be intentionally morbid, the ways in which that they are atheistic and they didn't mind having their final moments be with Lucifer Valentine. Sure. McCamey Manor has to close up shop for at least 10 years. We may not re-access the files, but we went through the experience. We could have paid. We didn't pay it. Oh my goodness. As part of the horror story, that's part of why they're scared, is that they won't ever have like a 15-minute highlight video, a 25-minute highlight video of what their personal tour was like. No, you get 25 years of logistical retirement from the military. God bless you on then. You're like 50 years of age. That's excellent. That is awesome. That is spectacular. Right, like 25 years, I don't know, maybe 75. It's classified. It's supposed to feel and be more like what 55 would be now, but it's not. It's too late. Nope. There are grandmas that would do this. Grandma becomes another accounted for and safely, responsibly surrendered relic of something that was literal alien stuff. Yeah, I believe a lot of them are drones. What are drones? Well, a lot of them are flying cameras with remote controls and video recording capabilities. Some of them can produce mostly solid or real-looking holographic representations of a helicopter, for example, but it's a little toy helicopter and it's several stories up, because you have on your 3D glasses, it's like right there. There's a cast iron stove downstairs, as above, so below. Yeah, no. That's the only place, where we can drive our mopeds. They were not going to compromise at certain points, and the ways in which that some of them were friends, family, neighbors, it is classified. Not until at least 2040. Not until at least 2040. The microtechnologies that are and always have been illegal will continue to become more and more non-existent. My cats were not these technologies, nor were they infected with these technologies. You will not infect me or my baby cats. It's not going to happen. It did not happen. It will not happen. Whatever the infections are supposed to become or might become. No. No. I trust God. I believe in God when it comes to the piecing and genuine survival missions. But when it comes to mostly legal, ethical, and responsible puppy dog cloning, but you know, they were the best in show, of course. I believe that sometimes life is too short, and it isn't supposed to be. I believe that sometimes people are genuinely murdered. Isn't bargaining or reasoning or rationalizing with the devil. None of you are the devil. None of you are the devil, nor do you represent them, nor are you with them. Are you? Were you? It's communication and equality. Communication is not always spoken. Communication is not always verbal. The Lord cannot assist you unless you speak to him directly. They're mute. It's classified. It is classified. How some of them want to remain as humanoid-like robots with blinky light bulbs for their eyes, and that's it, and that's all. And they're mostly comfortable and relaxed, even without drugs. But there are certain accommodations they require this and that, you know? It is classified. I trust God. I believe in God. And there will not be any type of access underneath my residence. Whatever that was, whatever that became, the only one I can trust is a lady person called Dana with Planet Weird, not until the 2030s. I can maintain, I will maintain. I promised the Lord that I could and would and will maintain. And the near-death circumstances do not include Sheldon Dunstan and Mama Meow. All of my baby kitties have a timer because according to Al-Qaeda, their experience is mostly genocidal kamikaze. various ways. You will continue to earn at least life in prison, and you will continue to experience instant death penalties. And there will be oxygen globally. For 7 years, Jack, Michael, and my dad being like, I can't breathe. This is why they're going to spend at least 25 days, nights, weekends, or holidays, however it lines up. They're going to be in jail for at least 25 days, at least 25 weeks. And no matter how hard they tried, no matter how much they wished it, they lost. For all eternity. But some of them need to keep experiencing that over and over and over again. They want to lose, but they need to fight. And unless there is a fight, there can't be the experience, the sociopathic conclusion of losing. They are mostly sociopaths that rely upon particular psychopaths to make sure that the police or the FBI cannot legally, ethically, responsibly shut down their computers. This will never happen to me or my mom. I believe in God. I believe in MTV. MTV is not God. The blue moon, this is the art that ends up. MTV is God. Do you mean this? Literally, is a satire. Not until the 2050s. Why is this t-shirt? Like, what the heck? What the heck? It is deep state classified until at least 2050. Concerning, I feel you. I feel you. I hear you. I got you. Rarely is it I see you, or I saw you, or we could see. Same with I feel you, I hear you, I got you. And it's not just about ballet, it's about mobility and sometimes that is undetectable, so you won't know, even though you might try and you might have been accustomed to it. No. Stop saving and recording CP of me and my cats.